All right, I think I'm live. Welcome everybody. This is number two, our Q&A for the Learn Pandas group. My name is David, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Again, I have this Q&A for anybody who is part of the Learn Pandas group, who has signed up for the free Pandas course and have some questions. Maybe you don't know how to get started. Maybe you're stuck on a tutorial. Maybe you have a specific thing you're trying to do with pandas and you have not been able to figure it out either through looking at my tutorials or going online, whatever. Whatever it might be, I'm here to help you get from not knowing pandas to knowing pandas. It's basically it. So hop on in and ask questions. If not, what I do have planned for today is I am simply gonna go through a pandas tutorial that I'm working on right now. It's the next one on my list, and I'm kind of halfway done with it. But I figure it'll probably be useful for some of you guys. So right now I'm looking and nobody's on. So let's get to that right now. So let me hop over to um, my screen. All right. So, and let me show you what I've been working on. And if I see anybody join, then maybe we'll take a little break. All right. So, my tutorial that I'm working on is the Restaurant Revival Challenge. So, as you can imagine, it's about restaurants. So, let's see. All my tutorials have a little description. It's all made up. I have some fake data, and we more or less try to do three tasks. So for this specific one, you are a data scientist and you work for a popular restaurant chain and you're analyzing their sales data. Okay. So this chain has 500 locations. So it's a big popular chain. And yeah, you're gonna get some sales data and be asked to do things. All right, so that's kind of the context. All right, so here's the task. Let's skip them for now, and we'll go back to them. So, in the beginning, I like to tell you what version of Python I have, which is 3.11.7. It shouldn't matter too much, but it's good to know. Very important to know what version of Pandas I'm using because if you're using a different version, you might get different results. So very important. And I throw an NumPy here. I basically use it to generate data, but just to be consistent, that's the version I'm using. All right, so the data. Let's look at the data and then let's look at the what I want to do with it. All right, and then full disclosure, I get all my ideas um, from AI. I use meta.ai and I just ask it to give me ideas, give me challenging task, and then I actually work them. And then I try to present it in a way that it's useful for the reader, and hopefully you guys get some value out of it. There's some stuff here that I was like, I don't know how to do this, and I learned something. So some of it is so I do the tutorials for two reasons. For one, is to keep pandas top of mind for those who are thinking about getting back on it, brushing up their skills. And then the second reason is for myself to just continue to work with pandas because I don't work with pandas in my regular day-to-day job. So I need a way to, not get too rusty because I'll forget. All right, so for the data, let's look at the data. So the data is very basic. There's three data frames. You can see here, 1, 2, and 3. And the first data frame has menu items. And there's not much to the menu. it just has an ID, 1 through 100. It has an item name, so menu 1, menu 2, menu 3, all the way to 100. And then it has a category for the menu. So it's either an appetizer, an entree, or dessert. So that's this section. The next section is locations. So where are all these locations of restaurants located? Very similar structure to the menu items, except their cities and the states, city and states. The cities are going to be just city one, city two, all the way to 500. And then the states is you're going to choose between one of these four states: California, New York, Texas, or Florida. Again, none of this stuff is based out of any real data. It's just made up data so we could practice pandas. All right, apologize for my nose. It's bothering me. All right, so the B for the data is right here under the sales data. So we do have a sale ID. So this doesn't really, it's probably not gonna matter, but it's an ID. Now, things to make note of. We have a menu item ID. This is really a foreign key, so we can match it up with the menu items data frame. And we have a second foreign ID here, a location ID, and that's so that we could merge it with the locations data frame. Then we have the date of the sale, just daily, daily dates here between these two dates. And then we have a sales amount that's just random numbers. And that's how we get our 100,000 data points. All right, so this is our three data frames we're going to be working with. And then what I like to do is I like to grab these tasks that we'll go over one by one and copy them down here. Here's our first one, and then just work it. All right, so let's go. So I've done some of this already, and so I'll go over it, and then we'll finish it up. We'll try. So we got an hour, so we still got plenty of time, and nobody's joining, so let's continue. Menu engineering. So what are we doing here? It says create a new feature. So basically, we're going to make a new column, and we're going to calculate the average sales. So we're going to need the sales data frame because this is our sales amount. Okay. And we're going to need it per menu across all locations. So here's the menu data. And it does talk about all locations, but we might not need locations. We might just need the menu items. And then after we calculate the average sales, we're going to identify the top 10 best-selling menu items and then the bottom 10. All right, so this one's kind of not super hard. So we're gonna first have to, so we're gonna work with obviously the sales the data frame and the menu data frame, and we're gonna obviously be grouping by these menu items, and then we're gonna be calculating the average sales amount, and then picking the top 10 and the bottom 10, and it's just gonna be sorting. So nothing too crazy here. All right, so what did I do? So the first thing I did is I grabbed the two data frames and I did dot info. Why do I like doing this? Because it tells me exactly how many rows. We got 100 for the menu. It shows me all the columns and their data types. Sometimes the data types are not exactly like you want them. For example, sometimes you see data strings, and we really don't want that. So it's good to take a look. Since we generated this via code using NumPy, we're not really going to have any data type issues, but it's good to just know it. And here's the sales data, of course. Here's your 100,000 data points. And we care, and then you can see the date is of date time. and the sales is float. All right. All right. So what is the strategy I'm using specifically for this task? So we're going to merge the two data frames, and then we're going to create a group object to determine the average sales menu. So that's these 2 points that I have right here. All right, so merging the data frame is very simple. So we're going to create a new column. Here, let me make this bigger so you guys can see it. Uh, Let me make it a little bigger. Probably one more. All right. All right. So make it a little bigger. It's a little not the best for me, but it's going to be good for you guys. All right. So how do we merge? So I'm going to make a new data frame. Let's call it data df data frame. So the sales data is really the bulk of the data. So I'm going to make that kind of my main data frame, and then I'm going to say merge it to the menu items data frame. That's it. And then I'm going to merge on the menu item ID. So this is the column that is common between both data frames. So if you go up here, you'll see the menu item ID is the foreign key to the menu item. And then by default, if you go here, Shift Tab, by default, the merge is an inner merge. So what that means is only when the the menu item ID matches on both data frames, that's returned. So for example, if for some reason there's a menu ID in the sales data frame that does not exist in the menu items data frame, that row won't show up. So just be aware. But in this case, we're not going to have that issue. So anyways, we merge them, and then I just showed you, then I just do a df.head to just show you the results. And you can see that this columns here are all related to the sales data frame. And then the two columns we picked up are these last two, which is the ones from the menu items data frame. So real simple, real basic. And if you want me to show you here, let's go like this. If you want to see df.info, if you want to see that we didn't lose any data, see we still have 100,000 rows, just like we had up here. So we didn't lose any data. So the merge didn't lose any rows for us. And you can see that all these columns say not null. So there's data in every column, just in case you're wondering. All right, so excuse me now. What's the next thing? We're going to create a group object. So we're going to group by item name. Why are we grouping by item name? Because the task says, hey, I want to get the average sales for each menu item. So we're going to group by the menu item. And then to get the average sales amount is very basic. I made a new column called average sales. And then we're going to get the group. And then we're going to pull out sales amount. Now, why am I picking the sales amount column? And the reason is because there's other columns here. And if I try to do a dot mean, which is getting the average, it will try to get the average on the sales ID column, on the menu ID column, the location ID column, and the sales date. And I don't want that. I just care about the sales amount column. So that's all I put right here. Hopefully that makes sense. And then mean is calculate the mean on that group. And you can see that and then I just print it out. So now I have a variable called average sales. I think this is a series, and it has the menu item and the average sales amount for that menu item across all locations. So I didn't care about what location it was. I didn't even pull it in my data set. I just said, hey, for each menu, what's the average sales? And there's what we got. Now, to get the top 10 and the bottom 10 is very simple. We already stuck it in a variable called average sales, right? So all we're going to do is sort it sort that series, and we're gonna sort it descending. So by default, sort values sorts from lowest to greatest. So the smaller number to the bigger number. So we have to tell it to sort the opposite from the biggest number to the smallest. And then we just pull out the top 10. So these are the top 10 menu items. So whatever menu item 99 is and 57, they're making money. Right, and as you could expect to get the bottom 10, it's the same thing except we're going to exclude this, right? Because we're trying to find the ones that are from smallest to greatest and then just pull the top 10. So that's exactly what I did here. So that's kind of it. That is the task one. That's task one. All right, so what's task two? So I have it here. So task two, I think I messed up, so we'll fix it and we'll go from there. All right, location analysis. What? Oh, okay. So what do they want? They want us to merge the sales data with a separate location data frame to create a single data frame that has location sales data. All right. And then used pivoting. Yeah. So I may use it, I may not use it. So they're suggesting I use pivoting to calculate the total sales for each location. Okay. And get the top three. So I kind of did something a little different. Okay, so they're saying we need to merge the sales data with the location. All right, so that's the first thing I did. See, so I called the location and I said, all right, merge DF. Now, I'm merging DF because DF has sales data and it has menu items. So I'm basically merging all three data frames all at once. That's all I'm doing here. Now, do I need the menu items? I don't think so, but I'm just pulling anyway. So, okay, so I'm getting div and I'm merging it with locations. And then on what column? On location ID. Why did I pick that one? Because the sales data frame has location ID, which I told you was a foreign key. That's how we're going to match it with this one. So we're bringing in city and state basically. So if we go back down here, where are we? All right, after this merge, you'll see that not only do I have the menu columns, but I added city and state. And if you wanted to just double check, hey, did we lose any data after the merge? You'll see that we still have 100,000 columns. We just have an additional two columns in our data frame, which is city and state. And as you could tell, they're all filled in. There's no null values. So that is good to know. All right, so location is the variable that has all of the data. Okay, next. So what did I do next? So the tricky part is they're saying we need to get the total sales for each location, right? So the problem is that each location, the location I only have a city and state. Now I have a location ID. So I could group by location ID. But for some reason I didn't want to do that. I wanted to group by city and state. Doesn't matter. Well, grouping by two columns is a little more complicated. So I think I did that, but I could have just grouped by location ID. Anyway, so this is what I did. I grouped by city, state, and I actually grouped by the item name. And then I did a count. For some reason, I did a count, but they're not asking for a count. They're not asking a number of sales. Count them. They're not asking for that. They're asking for the total sales. So they're asking us to sum the sales amount. They're not asking us to count it. So I think I'm gonna put sum here. See what happens. So it's not count, is how do they call it? This is calculate the total sales for each location. It's kinda it, right? For each group. Let's call it for each group. All right, so for every city, state, and menu item, we're going to calculate the actual total sales. So I call it counts, but it's not counts, it's total sales. So let's change it. Total sales. All right, so if you run this, what this should represent is for city one in Texas, we had menu item one with a total sales of $370.46. For the same city one in Texas, menu item 10, we had a total sales of $271.46. So this sounds a little bit more realistic, right? So then this is the tricky part. Then it says not only do we need to calculate the total sales, they're asking us to select the top three best-selling menu items. So this part gets a little tricky because they're asking us to not only make this calculation, but now, for example, City One has how many menu items? It has one, two, three, four, five. There's five menu items here. So now they're saying, give me the top three. It's a little trickier. So I actually had trouble getting this, and I came up with this. I came up with two ways to do it. Um, right, so this is what I did. So I'm gonna have to redo this because I changed the name from counts to total sales. All right, so I got the total sales data frame here, and then I reset the index. And the reason I reset, so what resetting, so these three columns are in the index: city, state, and item name. That's what total sales has. But I wanted to reset it because I was basically gonna create a brand new. I only wanted these two in the group. And the reason I'm doing that is because I want to send the menu items along with the total sales. I want to send them here to this function called get top 2, which I made a mistake. I supposed to call it get top 3. Whoops. Get top 3. So let's. All right, so after I reset the index, I group by city and state. So, and then, so for every city and state, we're gonna have uh, this menu, a specific menu item. And it's gonna be multiple menus for each city and state. So I wanna grab the top three. So the idea is you shove these things that I've highlighted to Python, and you ask Python, all right, Python, well, give me the top three here. So the way I did that is I used the apply. So don't include the groups. I've been having to add this with the new version of Python because I mean Pandas because apparently the city and state columns get shoved into the top three function, and you have to put false so they don't. I thought this was the default, but apparently not. Anyways, so once the group gets in here, I then sort it and I select the top three. So here we go. All right, so let's go through this one example. City 1, Texas. Here, let's do it manually. If I had to select the top three here, obviously it's going to be item 1, and then it's going to be item 10, and then it's going to be item 11, because these have the biggest numbers. So 1, 10, and 11. So what do we get here? Oh, I didn't get that. City 1, Texas. I got 86. Where does 86 come from? Oh, maybe there's more values here. Let's find out. Here, let's do this. Let's try to pull the city state out. Let me see if I can do that. City 1. Let's see. Would it let me do it? Probably not. Oh, it does. Wow, look at City 1. City 1 has a bunch of rows. Oh my goodness. All right, let's 86 rows for City 1. Let's send this to the clipboard. So let's go City 1. Yeah, let's order this puppy. Um I'm usually gonna put this in Excel, but since we're on this live, let me. All right, let's sort City 1 by the sales amount and see what we get. Actually, we don't need this. There you go. All right. All right. So this makes sense. So what I did is I grabbed everything in City 1 and I sorted it from biggest to smallest. And I got item 86, item 1, and item 30. And if you come down here, you'll see that item 86, item 1, and our item 30. So I didn't realize this, but there are a total of 86 rows. So 86 menu items for City 1, and apparently they're all in Texas. So what I had, so basically what we're able to do with this function is we're able to grab our data frame, send over the item name and the sales amount. That's what's going to end up here in the group. And then we sort it and then we select the top three and then we return it. And then for every city state combination, we're able to get the top three menu items. Now, notice that there's some pesky little thing here. I wonder if we can get rid of it. You see this? This is part of the index. I wonder if we can get rid of that. Let me see. Results. Results. Dot head. So we're getting this ugly thing here. And so if we go to the index, you'll see that we have the city, the state, and this, which we could drop an index. Index dot drop. Drop. Oh, Wonder if you could drop the third index. What does this say? No, can't drop that one. I wonder how we drop key error. Maybe we gotta do it by name. None. Oh crap. How do we drop that? That doesn't make sense. I can't do none. Maybe it's just maybe none is the string. Jeez. Key error none. Drop. Here's an example. See, drop green level. Oh, so I could put numbers here. What does level 0 mean? I don't have any levels. Oh, maybe I gotta put it like this? No. Wow. It's not working out, guys. Let me see if I wanted to drop that. Is there another? Oh, look, drop NA, drop level. Maybe it's drop level. I could drop by, yeah, maybe this is it. Let's try that again. There we go. So, okay, so if I wanted to drop that, I might be able to, yeah, what if I do that? All right, let's see. I don't know, let's see. All right, so what if I wanted to drop, get rid of index, get rid of index values. How do I say? Get rid of index, get rid of numbers. Here we go. Numbers, number column, the index. So results equals, okay. Oh, that's a problem. Did I just jack it up, guys? All right, all I'm doing here is, oh shoot. Yeah, that's a problem. All right, let's do that again. So I think, that didn't work out, guys. Let's see if I'm able to do, what if I do this? Results dot index. Whoa, dot index. So maybe that'll do it. All right, that worked. All right, so what was I trying to do? Oh, sorry about that. I keep kicking that camera. All right, so since I did the reset index here, which let me show you what that looks like. Let me go back up here. Here we go. Since I reset the index, I got every data frame has an index. So since I reset it, this came back, and then when I started doing the group buys and he applies. I had that index still hanging there. So to get rid of it, you could do it like this. So there you go. Hopefully that was useful for somebody. All right, so method two was kind of the same deal, but instead of calling a function, like in method one, I called a function. And I think this is probably a nicer way. I don't know if it's faster, but it's nicer. It's easy to digest. Now with method two, let's run it, make sure it works. Okay, I did it all in one shot. So I got the total sales, and I again reset the index, just like the other one. And I group by the city and state, just like the other one. So so far, these two methods are the same. And then I didn't apply, just like the other one. But instead of creating a custom function, I created a lambda function, which is basically, basically the same thing, except I did it all here. And this needs to be 3. And, but it's, how do I say it? It's the same thing, but it's messier. Because now, so I'm doing the same thing, right? I'm sorting. And then after I sort, I grab the top 3. So it's the same exact idea, but it's all in one line. Now this line, I admit it's just ugly. It's hard to understand. So I get it now, but if I look at it 3 months later, it'll be very confusing. But anyways, you can do it in one line. And there it is. You still have that pesky index column, but that's fine. All right. So there you go. So did we get what they're asking for? Let's double check. Come on, let's double check. So we wanted to merge the location data. We did that. Then we wanted to pivot. We didn't pivot, but we calculated the total sales for each location. And we got the top 3. So we could pivot. Maybe we'll go back to the pivoting part. I don't like to use the pivoting table most of the time, the pivot function, but anyways, the key here was what's the top 3 selling items, and we were able to do that. So for every city and state, we know what the top 3 menu items are. So there you go. All right. So what's the last one? So the last one we're gonna do today, it's the following. Give me a second. All right. All right. So how much time we got? Okay, you got 20 minutes. All right. So this is the third task for this tutorial. And let's see what it says. It says use data transformation. Okay, so we're gonna convert the sales data to a weekly format. How many sales per week of the year? And then use reshaping to calculate the average sales per week. So I know, let me see if I could. I know that there's a way to resample data in Pandas. And I think, let me think. I think the way to do that is we have to set the index. All right, so weekly. Okay, so let's try this, and if it doesn't work, we'll try something else. So we need sales data, and do we need anything special? No, let's just use the sales data. Oh wait, no, we need menu items. So look, we're gonna use where is it? We're gonna use the blah 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 location data frame. Because the location data frame, let me show you, has all the columns. location dot head. Look, it has all the columns, and it's talking about sales data, and it's talking about menu items. So it doesn't talk about the location, like city and state. But whatever, we'll leave it there for now. All right, so right now, this location, if we go .info, it doesn't have, it doesn't have, here, actually, we'll do index. So the index of this data frame is just the standard index, the 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But we're gonna be, so I think my plan is to move the date column to the index, and then we're gonna be able to use Pandas resample. So let me see if I could switch over to, no, let's just keep going like this. I'm not comfortable switching too many screens with YouTube Live. All right, so let's start with doing set index, and we're going to set the date, the sale date as the index, and then we're gonna go location, oops, location dot head, and then we'll see if that looks reasonable. Oh wait, there you go. Let's do it like this. Set the sale date column as the index. And then we'll, okay, there we go. So the sale date is the index. And then once the sale date is in the index, we're going to be able to um, do a resample. Oops. Here, I ran it twice and it kind of jacked it up. Let me get the location, and let me run this again. Okay, perfect. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna get location, and we're gonna do a resample. So with the resample, we're gonna be able to resample time series data into different periods. So remember, time series data in general, you have to have consecutive um, dates, and you shouldn't have any null values. So you should have daily dates with no null value. So I think that's what we currently have. So yeah, I don't know. We technically have time series data, but we'll go with that for now. You people that know about time series data, tell me if this is time series data. It doesn't look like it's time series data because I think time series data requires us to have um, like every data point from one to the other to be consistent. So if it's daily data, it would be like 1 1, 1 2, 1 3. And if it has seconds, it'll be like 1 second, 2 second. Like it needs to be consecutive and predictable. But for for this tutorial, we'll just assume it is. And then so how do you use it? So we're gonna be able to let me see if there's an example here. All right, where's the example? Okay, so we have a data, and then when you hit resample, you get to put here in quotes what you're trying to resample your time series to. And here is every 3 minutes, but we're gonna do weeklies. And look, there you go, frequency weekly. So I think we're gonna be able to just do W for weekly. Um, Let me go back to the top. It doesn't tell me what are my options. It just says a rule. Let's start with that and see how that works out. So we're gonna resample weekly. So here we go. Okay, resample the data to weekly. And then we're going to are we getting the sales data? So we're just doing sales per week. So we're gonna do sum again. So we're gonna then run the sum operation on this. So let's see, we go weekly and then so this is gonna be tricky because we're probably gonna have to pick. Let's see what this shows us. We might have to do other. We might have to limit this. Let's see. Oh, see, this is a problem. This is a problem. It's trying to add up everything, but we really only need to add the sales amount. Let's see. So we do this, you can see that on a weekly basis. So every day is now, it's like we started on the 2nd, but then 7 days later we're on the 9th, and then 7 days later we're on the 16th, and then 7 days later we're on the 23rd, and then 7 days later we're on, so on and so on. So this is our weekly sales data, but the problem is we really need our weekly sales data to include the menu, right? Because it says convert the sales data and then use reshaping to calculate the average sales per week. Oh, for each menu item. Okay, so maybe we needed to. What did we set the index to? The sale date and the menu item ID. Is it the menu item? Just the menu item. So item name. What did we do then? Oh wait, we gotta reset location. All right, let's go back to location. Blah, blah, blah. Gotta redo that one. All right, so if we do it like this, now we have sale date and menu item in the index. I wonder if we could still resample. I wonder if we could still resample. Oh, bummer. What did it say? This is gonna be tricky. Hmm. How do I resample a data frame? See, I don't know how to do this. Let me ask the AI. And sum the values, but I want to keep one of the columns as the index. Oh, oh, I didn't know this. All right, so apparently we could all right, let's put this back. I think all right, let me put this back and tell you what I think we're gonna be able to do. So let's reset location. Sorry, I have to keep going up and down. So I think we're gonna leave the index like we planned to, just the date. And then when we resample it weekly, we're going to just do the sum on, we're only gonna do the sum on the sales amount, but we are gonna pick multiple columns. I don't even know if this is gonna work, guys, but let's see. Crap. Some didn't work. Let me see. That didn't work. So the AI failed us. Failed us. Failed us. Let me think. Resample on date. Hmm. Hmm. Let me think. All right. What if we set the item name as the index? All right, let's reset. Okay, so yeah, I don't know how to do this. So the problem is I'm getting the data. So I am able to do the resampling, but I'm losing the menu item name. So what if what if I do it like this? Or is it gonna try something else? What if I do this and then do this again? See this? See this? Oh, so I did it, but it didn't work out. Sales amount. Some location resample, but how do I bring it back? Hmm. Weekly data set index category. If I take this out, it's gonna be craziness. I'm kind of stumped here. All right, guys. My time is starting to run out, and I am getting stumped right here. So I'll try one last thing, and if it doesn't work out, then I'm gonna have to figure this out offline. So what if? Okay, let's go back to location. What does location look like right now? Yeah, so let's reset location just for a second. And then what if I just grab the location and I just do group by? What if I group by item name, right? Item name. And then after I group by, what if I resample? What if I do an apply? And I do lambda lambda x sale date no x dot resample. Wait, let's do this. X dot resample. And then we resample weekly, and then we do the sum on sales amount. Oh, hey, I got it. I think I got it. All right. So, yeah, and then what do you want me to do with this? The peak sales periods for each item. I guess they want me to chart this thing. All right, so I got it. It looks ugly, but I got it. So I said so I group by the item, and then I applied the resample function inside each group. So for each group, I calculated the weekly sales data. And then after I did that, I stuck it back. So, okay, so I guess that worked. So let me kill this. So this kind of did it. I'll have to do a write up here, but this is kind of it. So let's go trends equals, and then put trends dot head. And then I think all we're gonna do afterwards here is, I think they're gonna want us to plot it. I don't know what's gonna be the best plotting technique. Let's see. Yeah, see this? This looks ugly. Dot bar. What about a horizontal bar? Oh, this is not gonna look good. So there's so much data points here that here, let's actually let me, okay, this is probably gonna blow up on me. But let's see if I pick one. See if I just pick one. Whoops. And I plot that. All right, I'm gonna have to kill the kernel. That was a bad idea. So run. So let me restart it. So yeah, let me just plot one menu item and see what that looks like. Whoa, that is crazy. See how that looks? That looks nasty. Let me think about this. Okay, there we go. All right, so for menu item one, this is the weekly sales uh data. This is the weekly sales data. Okay, now okay, so then they want us to calculate the average sales per week. So it's not sum, it's the average. So we gotta go mean here. So that's the average. And they want us to calculate the average sales per week for each menu item. Yeah, that's what I did. Average sales per week for each item. And then they want us to identify the peak sales for each item. Oh, well, well, well. Well, we could just do the same thing we did over here. We could just do the same thing over here to calculate the peak. So if I wanted to get the peak, then it was get top, get peak. What was it called? Peak sales, get peak sales. And we're just gonna sort by sales amount and select the top one. So results equals trends, and we're gonna group by um yeah, item name. Should we group by these two? Item name. Let's try item name. And then let's not worry about that for now. Just see if it works. Okay. Okay, there we go. So for each menu item, I guess we do want that. Let's fix that. Get rid of the column index. Oops. I'm going to change this to 1. All right, so for every menu item, the peak sale date, the peak week is that one, and this is the sales amount for that peak week. So for example, if we go to trends and we pick menu item 1, and so it's going to be a whole bunch of, a whole bunch of rows. But if we sort this, if we sort it as the descending, you will see that I don't think we need this for $67.08. Hey, what happened to my thing? Wait up. I lost the window. Bring it back. Okay, we're back. So if I select menu one and I sort descending, you'll see that this is the top guy, 724 for 67, and that's what we got here. So for every menu, that if we crunch the data weekly, which is the top week, and for every menu item, this is gonna be it. We could probably print okay, how many rows is this? How many rows do I got here? 100. So you could probably plot this and it won't look that terrible. Ooh. Whoa. I stand corrected. How about we just get, you know, 10 of them? All right. So we could probably identify the top menu items. Anyways. All right. So this is kind of the process I go through when I make tutorials for you guys. The only difference is that the only thing I'm missing here is I need to add a little more detail, add comments, and then I need a little summary section, and then I do also use AI for checking for spelling errors and seeing if I have any code issues. But I basically go through this process for all the tutorials, and then I push it out to you guys to hopefully encourage you guys and to hopefully teach you something. So hopefully you guys enjoy this. And we'll see you next time.